What's up, barbecue fans? My name is Jake, and today is going to be a controversial video. In fact, I have on my invisible flame suit. We're going to activate it from time to time because I know some of you guys are going to come at me, especially for number 5. But today we're doing 5 pellet grill myths. Let's get into it. Myth number 1, pellet grills can explode if you start it with the lid closed. I gotta admit, a few years ago I put out a video called the 12 mistakes that pellet grill owners make, and I added fuel to this fire. Since then, I don't know, probably 80 to 100 of you have commented and pointed out that I was wrong. And every one of those comments, I've admitted that I misspoke on that. Now, can it happen? Well, here's a video of it happening. However, people see something like this happen once and everyone talks about it and thinks it's a major thing. This was an issue, more so when you didn't have a PID controller and people didn't know they had to keep their grills clean. This is a very, very, very rare event. And in fact, today, there are tons of pellet grill manufacturers that tell you to start with your lid closed. All right, so let's put an end to that myth. Stop worrying about it. I'm sorry that I added fuel to the fire a few years ago, but I'm here to tell you that myth has been busted. Myth number 2, pellet grills can't sear. Now there is some truth to this one. There are a number of manufacturers out there that have not figured this out or don't want to give you the option to be able to do it. I've owned a couple Traegers and they max out at 500 degrees. They also have the pellet, or the firebox right in the middle. And on a pellet grill, you've got that diffuser plate to help slope away the grease. Well, our plate is very far away and we don't get a lot of radiant heat into our meat, right? So because we maxed it at 500 degrees, you could try grill grates, you could try cast iron, and you could get kind of a baby sear. I don't know what the word for it is. I mean, you can barely get a sear. There are a number of manufacturers out there that have this exact same problem. However, Yoder has been able to sear since day one. It's the reason why I switched to Yoder over 4 years ago. Goes up to 600 degrees, and with grill grates, it goes even higher, upwards of 800 degrees, right? In fact, I have numerous videos where I opened up the diffuser door and I seared stuff on the top grate way away, just so I can get some crisping of that skin, and it works really great on something like chicken, or if you just want to add some char to something that's already cooked and you're looking to get that grilled effect. Today, there are numerous manufacturers that can sear, and if it were me, I would never buy a pellet grill unless it could sear, unless of course you want to have a couple grills on your patio so you have one that does sear. But many people who are looking at a pellet grill are really, they're asking themselves, can it replace maybe a traditional gas grill or something else? And I did a video on that as well. I'll link it up here. It certainly can, but you do want to have one that can sear. Myth number 3, pellet grills are just easy bake ovens. This is a comment that comes from mostly the offset elitists, the barbecue elitists. And listen, I get it. I've got an offset. They make phenomenal barbecue, but I've got to add a split every 20 or 30 minutes. It's a lot of work. If you look at something like a Kamado or a barrel cooker, Weber Smoky Mountain, or some other barrel cooker, I mean, all we're doing is we're controlling airflow there. We're not managing a fire. A pellet grill, because it has a fan, people's like, oh, it's just a convection oven. The fan is moving around the smoke and the hot air. But if you think you can buy a pellet grill, set it at 275, and come back 12 hours later and have an amazing brisket, you are surely mistaken. Pellet grills have a lot of different things you have to do to make them work well. So does an offset. You can't just buy an offset and turn out an amazing barbecue out of the gate, right? All of the types of cookers out there have a learning curve. It just so happens that this will help set your temperature for you, but you still have a lot of work to turn out an amazing barbecue. I mean, people buy digital gauges and fans for their Kamados as well. That being said, if you don't think you can turn out some pretty darn good food on a pellet grill, you are sadly mistaken. Myth number 4, pellet grills can't produce great smoke flavor. Listen, 3 years ago, I would have agreed with you, hands down, wouldn't have thought twice. But it's been 4.5 years since I bought my Yoder, and I've done over 300 cooks. And I'll tell you what, my barbecue game is strong. My brisket game is on point right now, so much so that I'm gonna do a challenge video where I'm dusting off my workhorse and I'm gonna put the Yoder head to head with blind taste tests, and we're gonna see just how good my brisket is. I'm pretty darn confident. However, if you're watching an offset video and you're taking those temperatures and everything and you're applying them to a pellet grill, it doesn't work that way. And if you're brand new to a pellet grill, you're not gonna turn out just amazing food. There are some things you need to do with the pellet grill to maximize the quality of your barbecue. In fact, I just launched a new website. I call it pelletgrillsecrets.com. All you gotta do is sign up for my newsletter and I will give you my 11 secrets to more smoke on a pellet grill for free. It's a PDF guide. You can download it instantly, and I guarantee you, if you put into place some of these 11 secrets, you'll start turning out better barbecue. This one is definitely busted, all right? You can turn out some damn good barbecue on a pellet grill. You just gotta learn how. That brings us to myth number 5. For this one, I gotta turn my flame suit up on high. I mean, I can already feel the heat from the comments and I haven't even opened my mouth yet. I'm gonna use some logic on you to see if you can follow me here. Myth number 5, my pellet grill doesn't have any temp swing. There are 2 different types of people out there at opposite ends of the spectrum. There are the people over here who believe that their pellet grill has 0 swing, maybe 5 degrees plus or minus. And there are the people over here who are freaking out because their pellet grill isn't doing what they think it should. Years ago, when pellet grills first came out, before PID controllers were a thing, we had a little dial there, it said 275. It said 275, you figured that's the temperature. You didn't even think twice about it. One of the worst things that pellet grill manufacturers did is they put a little gauge on there so you can check the temperature. On your oven, even the digital ones, if you set it to 350, there's a pretty good chance it's having upwards of a 50-degree swing. Here comes the logic. There are 15, 16, maybe 17 wood pellet manufacturers out there. I mean, I don't know how many there are. Some of them are rebranding for other brands out there, but there's a lot. I know I've tested 8 or 9 myself, and I can think of at least 4 or 5 that are newer to the market or that I just haven't played with at all. But it's safe to say that there are a ton of them out there. Not all of them use 100% wood. Some of them use different types of fullers. All of them are different lengths. Even in the same bag, you've got different lengths. Many of them are completely different diameters. They're all made of different wood blends or 100% wood. And if you know anything about wood, different types of wood burn hotter than others, right? What I'm trying to show you here is we've got a lot of variables in our wood pellets. This guy, there isn't a magic button on here that says, well, we're gonna use Bear Mountain mesquite pellets and it's gonna do some calculations and figure it out and adjust from there. All this does is it's got a sensor here and a controller, and it speeds up and slows down pellets based on that temperature reading, right? Inside, where all the magic happens, we have a live fire burning. We're adding some pellets to that. If we have all these variables and a live fire burning, do you really think that it's possible to never have temp swing? I mean, logically, it just doesn't make sense. Yoder shows the temperature, or bases its temperature on a 4-minute average, right? It's showing you the real temperature every time, but it's adjusting how much it adds pellets or takes them away on a 4-minute average, right? So the number one mistake people make with a pellet grill is they see that it's not the temperature they want, they start playing with the dial. They're all programmed differently. If you start playing with the dial, like if you adjust the dial on a Yoder every 2 minutes, the computer's never gonna catch up because it's never gonna get an accurate reading, and it's gonna try and do what you think it's supposed to do. The other thing that people do is they see it running hot and they open up their lid. Let's use some more logic here. We open up our lid, we've got a thermocouple there that's looking at the temperature. When we open up the lid, the temperature cools down inside, right? So you sit there, keep your lid open, the temperature comes down to where you want it, and what's the pellet grill doing? It's going, holy smokes, I'm losing temp, I need to add more pellets. to correct for my temperature loss. You close the lid and all of a sudden, boom, we blow past our temperatures. And you're wondering why. Now, I have firsthand experience on another computerized cooker out there. And I'll tell you what, I tested it, they showed absolutely flat lines. I'm not gonna throw them under the bus, but they're showing you a flat line because they don't want to deal with the support calls. Because people, they see this temperature, and when it goes off, what do? They call support and they complain. Now, every pellet grill manufacturer handles this differently. I just want you to understand that temp swing is normal. In fact, I've got an entire video on it that I did a few years ago. I'll link it up here, but don't freak out. They all have swing. I don't care what the display is showing you. It's literally impossible to have so many different variations of wood types, lengths, sizes, diameters, and a live fire going, and you're not gonna have some movement of your temperatures. Okay? Stop stressing. Forget about it. Set your temperatures. Don't open up your lids. Focus on making good quality barbecue. Use some of my 11 tips from pelletgrillsecrets.com and just focus on making some better barbecue. Once you do that, you'll be happy. You'll stop stressing. If you can't get past that, get yourself a little piece of tape, cover up your dial, and you won't have to think about it. Hopefully you got some value out of this video. If you did, please subscribe, give it a thumbs up. Thanks as always for watching.